the content is. Do you feel it easy, difficult? 大家可以告诉我这个 dictation 2做的难吗？你就可以这个打字就可以啊。How much time did you spend on the second dictation? ROLLEY. You can say, you can call it a trolley, or you can call it a grocery cart, or you can call it a shopping cart. Cart 这个车是吧？以前是这个马车拉的那个车厢一样啊。不是告诉过你吗？是吧？那 I told you so， 你就要用这个 hyphen 把它连起来，用连字符连起来啊。这个要注意一下。A similar example is in the third sentence. A stay-at-home housewife. Most of the students got the word stay at home, but they again forgot to use hyphen to link this word together. Okay? And this is one modifier, one word. 那这是临时构成的词，对吧？你在字典上查不到因为是一个成分一个词，你用这个 hyphen 连接一下，以后记得这个小地方见功力，对不对？Culinary necessity 有一点点问题household chores. Chore, maybe you don't know this word, but if you have studied listening material 2.1, 2.1 里面有这个词，是不是听力材料2.1里面有这个词household chores. If you didn't watch 2.1, you may mistake this as choice or choose or some other words. 这个词有一些同学没有写出来，显然是2.1没有看2.1里面有这个词 household chores. Chore refers to a routine task, usually a monotonous and mostly unpleasant one. 例行公事，对吧？杂物。那 household chores, in other words, housework. 这里这个要记得一下然后下面错的最多的是这里啦，I'm so tired. 然后这个词，就我看可能70%-80%的同学写的都是 says, the professional woman. But if you listen to that sound again, I know that some students realize it's not exactly says because they marked a question mark there. Okay, they put a question mark there. So they have their doubts, but they just couldn't figure this word out. 你看有同学在这个 says 旁边，他写了 says， 还写了一个问号，说明这个词是有疑问的但他没有想到这个词 size 是吧 sigh not says, not said, sigh. And there's again a second sigh. 这个词有错就是知道好像不太对，但是呢没有想到这个词 OK， 这是错的最多的一个词，不是 says。And then here the 这个词这词也写不出来，那写不出来因为它难This is weary, not weary, weary means exhausted, rather tired, showing tiredness. This is a difficult word, and if we hear this part again, how did the speaker say it? 它这个词念的不完整，如果你再去听的话，它念得非常快Weary plus professional. If you link these two words together and read it really fast, it becomes the weary professional. The weary professional. 这个尾音听不到了，所以这个词很多同学没有写出来The weary professional, not the weary. 这个 re 念的就不是很明显The weary professional. If you listen to the song I gave you, the first line, you may find this word, weary. So this is another common mistake. 这一面主要是这两个词容易错其他的一个是构词，剩下的就是 vocabulary. Okay. Then moving on to the next part. If you think American cookie means opening and tossing, it's not difficult to get open and toss. And some students didn't get the word toss because they don't know this word toss. 先说一下 toss. Toss is a very frequently used word instead of throw. 它就是扔 throw， 对吧？很随意、很口语的一个词 ，very colloquial. So toss， 就像是随手一扔，把他的东西扔在床上，he tosses stuff， 对吧 ？He toss. We don't say throw. So in everyday conversation, we simply say toss. 随手一扔这个感觉You toss something in the microwave. But still, a lot of students get this word and just open and toss without ing. But if you read this sentence one more time, you should know that a gerund should be used here. OK? 从语法上来说 ing 是必须要加的，对吧？因为它做这个 means 后面的宾语了，你不能用动词做宾语，对不对？你得加上 ing 虽然 ing 听的不是很明显 ，opening 对吧 ？open your package and toss in the contents，toss in the content， 这个 ing 不是很明显but according to the grammar. And then, on the one hand, it's true that Americans thrive on thrive 很好，都写出来了 thrive on cold cereal for breakfast. Cereal, some students didn't get the word cereal. They used the other word, like TV cereal, or serial killer, that's cereal, no, cereal. Like cornflake, like etc. 这个是跟文化比较相关有同学说这个文化，那么这个是文化。Because we Chinese don't usually have cold cereal for breakfast. We have porridge, right? 那这个就是谷物，对吧？冷的或者冰的这个牛奶加这个谷物早餐 cereal. Remember this word, everyday English. Okay, and then moving on here, another common mistake. 下面到了一个错误，也是很多的。那这里确实比较难即使错了，可能也怨不着大家Most Americans, if you read these two words together, okay, and quickly, what may they become? 大家试着把这两个词连着念快一点，你会发现什么问题 ？Most Americans would admit. It sounds like would admit. It sounds like would meet. 那么有同学写的就是 would meet. However, these two words do not make sense here. Okay? So it's linking 语言上 would admit. So it should be admit. But it does sound like would. But we don't have to use past tense, right? So it's will plus admit. Would admit. 这里确实是比较难的这个你得有这个连读的概念，你还得有非常好的这个语法和这个语感那么有同学不错，写了 would meet， 然后把它改成了 would admit， 再读又改成 will admit。 Yeah, very good. This is how you do dictation and do proofreading. You check your work. OK? 有同学经历了这3个步骤，那我觉得就非常好了Would admit that there's nothing better than a good home-cooked meal. Again, use hyphen and used participle. Okay, home-cooked meals. 其他的就不是很难就是一些小地方会比较难一点。那么到这一句，然后这一句不是很难，但是语序有点乱Because this sentence is pretty long, the recipes list all the ingredients for a dish. 然后后面有个 pause, right? Generally in the order used, the amount of each to use, and a description of how to put them together. Now, if you have written the key words of the sentence and read the sentence again, you may know the structure of the sentence. So 3 parallel phrases, noun phrases. Okay, the ingredients, the amount, and the description. the three noun phrases in parallel structure, and this generally in the order used. 这个 the 几乎是听不见的啊 ，in the order used，in the order used。那么这是一个插入成分用来修饰这个 dish， 是吧？实际上是 for a dish， generally in the order that is used。Sorry， 啊，这个地方有同学可能把它当成一句话了。那你看啊，这三个是平行成分啊。这个做完以后，看一下句子结构，知道吧？这里说的比较多。那么最后大部分同学写出来了啊。Finding recipes in America is as easy as pie. A couple of students wrote as easy as the other pie, the mathematical symbol. The symbol you use in math. 那个圆周的那个派啊。Then I can see that you are one of the top students, really good at math. Maybe a math genius, OK？ 他觉得那个派很 easy 啊，数学很 easy 是吧？这个学霸会那样写是吗？但是here it's a idiom, it's a set phrase, as easy as pie, really easy piece of cake. This is a set phrase.
But with cooking, as with any other skill, good results don't happen by accident. For those who need guidance in their cooking, or for those who have just run out of ideas, recipe culture.
OK， 黄玉玲，是念一下啊，我不知道啊，这个有做过的吧 ？Still this 让这个 more people 分析，听这次都没有有很多的 very 很难 not that
Work.
It's something like of it。有一个句子不说到最后一个词，你都不太知道这个句子什么意思。So when you are learning different language, you are exercising your brain for different structure, different word order. Okay? You are switching from the different word order, different systems, and this is fun. 好，不知道大家能不能明白这个意思啊？它举的是这么一个例子。那么最后
can do that to you. So for example, The Cat in the Hat comes back, a book that I'm years and years at a time. Or, have you ever learned any Cambodian? Scooching and oozing around, or a cassette, or even that antique object known as a CD. Other than that, you had books that didn't work. That's just the way it was. Today, you can lie on your living room floor, sipping bourbon, and teach yourself any language that you want to with wonderful sets such as Rosetta Stone. I highly recommend the lesser-known Glossika as well.
卡住了吗？Anyway, we have come to the last reason. If you take down the nouns of the speaker said in the last reason,
Kennedy, 1946. President Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. President Kennedy, 1946. Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Kennedy, 1960. Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. Both were shot on a Friday. Both shot in the head. Both
shot on Friday.
assassinated by a Southerner, and both were succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, 1939. Both assassins were known by three names. Both names have 15 letters. Lincoln was shot in the Ford Theater. Kennedy in a Ford Lincoln. Booth ran from a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse.
Booth ran from...
and was caught in a theater, and both Oswald and Booth were shot before their trials.
Hey there, what's for dinner? Fried rice. Since the late 60s and the early 70s, family life has been changing dramatically. Instead of accepting the rigid roles imposed by society,
some listening strategies. Let's begin.
嚟吧，我講你啊。
Everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to watch a video on changing lifestyles.
少一点
I will play the video and explain some difficult parts along the way and introduce some listening
多一点
strategies.
呗
Let's begin.
行。
welcome to Changing Lifestyle. Today we'll take a look at the changing role of fathers. In the 1950s and the 1960s, most fathers went to work every day, and most mothers stayed at home to take care of the children. However, since the late late 60s and the early 70s, family life has been changing dramatically. Instead of accepting the rigid roles imposed by society, many couples have been deciding to change their work-life balance.
The first listening strategy I'm going to introduce is prediction. Depending on the context, a news report, a university lecture, an exchange in the supermarket, you can often predict the kind of words and style of language the speaker will use. Our knowledge of the world helps us anticipate the kind of information we're likely to hear. Moreover, when we predict the content of a talk, all the related vocabulary stored in our brain is activated to help us better understand what we are listening to. We hear at the very beginning the sentence, "Today, we'll take a look at the changing role of fathers," which is obviously the theme of the story. With this topic sentence, we can start to predict the content as well as the vocabulary. For example, what was the role of fathers in the past? What is the role of fathers at present? What is being changed? Can you predict the change? As for the vocabulary, we may think of words like father, mother, children, family, housework, cooking, take care of the kids, work, life, leisure time, etc. This information and vocabulary will prepare us for what we are about to hear. New words
用这样一个当笔书里，知道这样一个东西。4号的21号，3号的一个作业。
Body. For instance, the council has imposed a ban on alcohol.
Stop.
Work-life balance. The lack of opposition between work and other life roles. So, what exactly is the change? Let's listen on.
More mothers have been pursuing careers, while at the same time fathers have been devoting more time to caring for children and doing household chores.
Did you predict it right? The change is more mothers have been pursuing careers, while at the same time fathers have been devoting more time to caring for children and doing household chores. Pursue. Seek to attain or accomplish over a long period. For example, pursue a goal, an aim, an objective, pursue a career in medicine, pursue happiness or one's ambition, etc. Household. It can be used as a noun, a house and its occupants regarded as a unit. The whole household was asleep. Or it can be
household. A house and its occupant regarded as a unit. 跟你们几个这个人主唱，跟他们
今天干的没什么少。顶着那个。
Used as an adjective of or relating to a household, cooking and other household arts. Chore, a routine task, especially a household one. Household chores. The early
household is component whole household was asleep. Whole household was asleep. Open into the household, moving and other household arts. Chore. Household chores. Now
risers were up and about, doing their chores. It's not that hard to predict the change, and if you're well prepared for the upcoming information and vocabulary, it becomes easy when you actually hear it.
This is David Knoll. David is 33 years old, husband, and father of 2 girls. David is a modern father. He and his wife both pursue careers and share in raising the children and doing housework.
Okay, well then you're gonna get the playground? The video then introduces David Knoll and his family. He and his wife both pursue careers and share the responsibilities at home, like taking care of the kids and doing household chores. This is why David is a modern father.
David's father, Bob, was also a loving father, but David's role as a father was different. During the early part of his career, Bob went to work every day while his wife Shirley stayed home. Bob worked for 38 years at Westinghouse as an electrical engineer. Bob worked on some of the first computers ever produced. Bob had always been an involved father. But in 1970, Shirley decided to go back to work. That was when Bob's role as a father changed.
In this part, David's father, Bob Knoll, is introduced. Bob and his wife used to have clear division of responsibilities at home. That is, Bob went to work and Shirley stayed home. Later, Bob's role in the family changed. He's described as a loving father, an involved father, Let's listen to Bob and David and find out why.
Shirley went back to work. I had to change my role and started doing more cooking, driving the children here and there. When our children were growing up, I took a lot of interest in what they were doing.
I think in many ways, I was probably better prepared for the changing roles that I had to take on by my father.
We did many things together, and I tried to get them involved in other areas that they seemed to show interest in, such as theater, magic.
He did a great deal more than I think many fathers. I mean, I could think of childhood friends whose fathers, were running businesses who participated almost not at all in their development. And I think I had a role model.
I remember David was he got very interested in magic and juggling, and he was an avid reader.
You may find sometimes spontaneous conversations are difficult to understand, like the interview of Bob and David here. It is so because not each and every word in the conversation is articulated. A lot of words are said pretty weak. Moreover, some sentences are inserted with filler words like I mean. Quite a number of words or phrases are repeated several times, which may interrupt the thoughts of the listener. This is common because without a pre-composed script, the speaker has to find appropriate diction on the spur of the moment. Sometimes he even has to make corrections on what he has said. In order to understand natural spontaneous speeches, I'm going to introduce the second strategy. Listen for keywords and focus on meaning. Keywords of a sentence are those that are essential to the meaning of a sentence. They are often nouns, verbs, adjectives, as well as negatives. Keywords are often stressed in a sentence. Listen for keywords, take notes if necessary, and then try to connect them into a meaningful unit. Try not to be distracted by filler words, repetition, or other redundancy. Let's try this extract.
Shirley went back to work. I had to change my role and started doing more cooking, driving the children here and there. When our children were growing up, I took a lot of interest in what they were doing.
The keywords we hear include Shirley, went back to work, I, change, role, cooking, driving children, a lot of interest, doing. With these words and phrases, we may be able to make sense of Bob's speech. What he actually says is, when Shirley went back to work, I had to change my role and start to do more cooking, driving the children here and there. When our children were growing up, I took a lot of interest in them, in what they were doing. Take an interest in somebody or something. To be or become concerned with, curious about, or interested in.
I think in many ways, I was probably better prepared for the changing roles that I had to take on by my father.
Keywords in this sentence include I, prepared for, changing roles, by my father. By indicates a passive voice. Let's try to connect them together. I was prepared for the changing roles I have to take on by my father. In other words, Bob took care of the family, which prepared David for his changing role in his family.
We did many things together, and I tried to get them involved in other areas that they seemed to show interest in, such as theater, magic.
Bob did many things with his children and encouraged their interests, such as theater and magic. Theater. It means plays considered as entertainment, or the work of writing, producing, and acting in plays. Magic. 魔术.
Did a great deal more than I think many fathers. I mean, I could think of childhood friends whose fathers, were running businesses who participated almost not at all in their development. And I think I had a role model.
David compared Bob with many fathers of his friends and expressed his gratitude for Bob's involvement and support during his childhood. He regarded his father as a role model. A role model refers to a person whose behavior, example, or success is or can be emulated by others, especially by younger people.
I remember David was he got very interested in magic and juggling, and he was an avid reader.
What were David's interests when he was young? Magic, 魔术, juggling, 杂耍, and reading, because he was an avid reader. Avid, very eager and enthusiastic. For example, an avid reader, an avid collector. She has taken an avid interest in the project.
As a young man, David loved magic, but he pursued a career as a biochemist. Before having children, David spent 40 hours per week studying cellular DNA in a research lab. And his wife, Diane, spent 40 hours a week working as a lawyer in Washington, D.C. After the girls were born, David and Diane both cut back on their hours in order to take care of their daughters. As a research scientist, David's schedule was more flexible, so he took on more responsibilities for the children's day-to-day care.
David is a research scientist, and Diane works as a lawyer. After the children were born, they had to cut back on their hours. Cut back on something, to reduce something. You can also say cut down on something.